from Love Island. I am so thrilled to present Cachet and Cinco. How you guys doing today? Great to see you both together.
Hi.
Nice to see you too. How are you?
Good. Welcome back, Cinco. But now we got Cachet on the line with you. I'm very excited about this. Now, Cachet, I just want to start off everything by saying I was so sad when you left the island because you were literally the life of the party. You just put a smile on my face. You were kind of a great way to end my evening. And after you and Charlie sort of decided it wasn't going to go work out, you were on again, off again. Were you sort of surprised by the outcome of the eliminations, or did you sort of see it coming and maybe were relieved in some way?
Yeah, I think for me, I was ready to go. Charlie and I, we had like such a connection at Casa Amor, and I think that connection just faded. And within every day of like trying to make it work with Charlie, I was just like, I can't really fight where my heart is anymore. And, you know, I think he did what's best for him, and I obviously did what's best for me, and everything worked out.
Cinco, were you able to watch those episodes at all? I mean, what was kind of going through your head when you found out Cachet was leaving the island?
I saw like the last episode of her leaving, and I don't know. I was still kind of in limbo. I was like, damn, I don't know where her head is at. Like, she still want to be a Charlie, or she's still trying to at least have a conversation with me and all that. I was obviously looking for a conversation at least. But yeah, I heard she got out, and I seen the part. She was like, yeah, like it's gonna be Cinco. It's been Cinco. I was like, yo, it's super dope. And yeah, from there, I was just ready to talk to her at least to see how things went. And here she is. You see.
Well, Cachet, I'm curious for you. I mean, I know that, you know, with Charlie, it sort of fizzled out, but did you feel like you were leaving the villa with some unfinished business, or did you feel like the unfinished business was really already outside of the island?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like with me and Charlie, we had a long conversation at the Aloha sign. I know you guys only saw about like 5 minutes of a 45-minute conversation, but I think within that conversation, I was just at peace and saying goodbye to him. I wanted him to know that there was no hard feelings there. So for me, all my business in the villa is closed, is finished. I'm just excited for everyone to get out, and I don't have any animosity towards him or anybody, but definitely the unfinished business was outside the villa.
I'm glad you don't have animosity. I got a little animosity, but that's neither here nor there. But I've actually been meaning to sort of ask you this question because the ultimate demise of your relationship with Charlie seemed a little bit familiar of what you were kind of going through with Cinco. You know, there was uncertainty kind of stemming from the decision you had to make between Charlie and Cinco. Do you think it would be fair to say that the way Cinco kind of navigated his love triangle with Trina is similar to what you went through with him and Charlie, or no?
No. So I think with the thing with Cinco is he was always like verbal and honest. With Charlie, I think he wasn't really listening to his heart. Like he was like, it's you, it's you, it's you. But I was like, I don't think it is, sweetheart. And I think he was so worried what everyone was going to think. Like, I think as well, like there was like a genuine love for each other, but it wasn't just there. You know, I don't think even if him and I met on the outside, we would never work. We're very two different people in how we handle situations and how we communicate. It wasn't there for us.
I mean, I will say, I don't think there's any doubt. I'm sure you guys know this at this point, that you guys were definitely probably the most talked about couples, you know, turned love triangles in the villa, maybe in the history of Love Island. Have you guys made any concrete decisions that you can share with me today, Cinco, since you have reunited with the lovely Cachet next to you?
The only concrete thing is that we were just gonna vibe and take our time with everything. We already came to agreement that there's no pressure. I know everybody on the outside wants us to work so bad, and even we do, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we wanted to be on our own terms, on our own time. And I feel like now is awesome because we finally getting the time that we haven't had in the villa, like just to be together and chill and talk and stuff like that. So we're chilling. We're getting to know each other better, and we're vibing, and it's awesome. So only concrete thing we came up with is just take our time, you know what I'm saying, fill each other out, and we'll see what happens from there.
Well, I'm glad you guys aren't putting pressure on each other, but America wants to make it happen, so feel the pressure all day, okay? But I did hear that you two kind of met up in the airport after Cachet left. What was that like, kind of seeing her at the airport? You guys sort of went from this reality show romance with cameras on you 24/7 to what would some call kind of this movie starstruck lovers romance. What was that meeting like for you two?
What's on?
Yeah.
Come on, Cash.
not him like putting the pressure on me. Well, I had a 2-hour layover in Virginia and we texted and he's like, okay, I'll come. So it was crazy just like seeing him in person. I was like, this is so strange. There's no cameras. It's just us. But the weirdest part of the airport was like us being recognized for me. Cause like eventually it just felt like normal with us. But then a girl came up to us and she's like, I'm going to cry. He's like, I'm gonna cry. I love you guys. And I'm like, oh my God, like this, it was just so weird because as much as we felt like, okay, it's just us, like him and I are still the same people we were in the villa, just no cameras. It's so crazy getting recognized by like supporters of the show.
Well, I mean, America just fell in love with you two individually, but then together again with that pressure that I'm talking about here. But did you decide to sort of skip out on your flight home and spend some time with Cinco? And that's where we're seeing you guys right now?
Yeah, no, I basically like, I kind of dared her into it and she was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm with it. So yeah, no, when I seen her at the airport, I was like, look, like you could go on a flight or you could stay. Like if you wanted to, we can just chill. And she was like, okay. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go. And I don't think we like fully realized what we did until we got in the car. I had to call our folks and be like, yeah. So she stayed and she called her mom and was like, yeah, I'm going to stay. And I was like, yeah. So we've just been chilling since then.
Cinco, you know Cash is a badass. Of course she was going to take you up on that date. I'm just saying.
He knew I would stay, and that's why he said that. like it wasn't a dare. He knew I would stay.
Psychology, you know what I mean?
You know
what? Yeah, he thinks he's clever, Cash. Right. He thinks he's clever. Let him have it. Let him have it. I'm curious, now that you guys are sort of back IRL in the real world, how has your bond sort of evolved not being in the villa? I mean, Cash, were you kind of hoping that you were going to run into him at the airport? If you hadn't, what was your plan? Were you going to call him when you landed? Walk me through it a little bit, Cash.
My plan was to always, so my mom actually lives in Virginia with my sister. So I was always going to make my way back here, but I was going to go to Buffalo first. For me, I meant what I said. I was like, okay, he's it. And I'm like, let me go get the guy, And I was just like, I don't know if he's still interested, but I'm going to lay all my cards on the table again. And I just wanted to see what was going on. But when he actually texted me, he was like kind of like texting me like a friend. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not your friend. Like I want to date you. Like, so this is what we need to figure out. And I'm glad that we actually like hung out and took time to talk.
Well, one of the things that I think is kind of rare, unfortunately, but one of the things that really made me fall in love with you, Cash, is sort of how you handled yourself, kind of being friends with Trina, but also having feelings for Cinco while also respecting Trina and Cinco at the same time. You navigate it with such class and such grace. How did you always stay so calm and so cool? I mean, was it kind of hard to comfort Trina during those times because you were kind of going after the same guy?
It's weird. It wasn't like hard for me because I respect her so much as a woman, and I just knew that she's just there to find a connection. There was one moment where it was just very weird for like 2 days. I was like, I care about you, but you're literally trying to steal the guy I'm with, And then, it was like a weird moment, like around, that time, because it's just like, you don't know what to say to her and vice versa, because we did like the same guy. But at the end of the day, it wasn't her trying to steal him or me trying to steal him from her. It wasn't that. It was just two people liking the same guy and wanting to find a connection. I think once we had an initial conversation, I was like, just respect me and I'll always respect you. We were fine after that.
Yeah, it was really nice to see the friendship and the support between you guys. Cinco, have you been able to watch any of the Operation Heart Attack that Olivia and Cash had kind of put forward?
That was under wraps. That was a secret operation. And everybody's talking about it.
I've heard.
It was sort of secret, but there's like cameras all around. And so what's secret in Love Island, Cinco, have you watched any of this? And what are your thoughts on it?
I haven't watched the like specific clips of them talking about it and all, but I have heard little things here and there about it.
She was playing the long game. Okay. She's smart. She was playing the long game here.
I was like, this guy is going to be mine whether he wants me or not.
People think I'm clever, but it's really her just scheming. Like,
Giovanni helped and no one knows. Like Giovanni was like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to talk to him every second he's not with Trina and he's going to work. I'm like, done.
I love Giovanni so much. He's so shady. We're going to get into a little bit with him. But now I know there's been a lot of skepticism going around right now about the genuineness of a few couples in the villa, at least right now, especially surrounding Will and Kira. Do you feel like they have a connection that would sort of make them last outside of the villa, Cash? I know you've had more time with them than certainly we've had as fans. So what do you think about them?
I love Will and Kira. I think it's hard because America doesn't really get to see them. And sometimes in the villa, we didn't get to see them because they're very into each other and they spent a lot of time with each other. I don't know if they're going to work on the outside because it's really different out here, even for him and I. I think there's going to be a lot of different things they need to figure out, of course, but we're rooting for them as a couple. We think they're great.
What about you, Cinco? Do you agree with Cash there?
Yeah, definitely. Will is my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to support him 100%. And I honestly, there's obviously been rumors and stuff like that going around, but at the same time, I feel like what they have is super genuine. You know what I mean? You can just see it in the villa. You can see it like when they're with each other. It's never, they can't fake that. It's something that really built together. And so, yeah, I definitely support them. I definitely think it's genuine. And yeah, like they do have things to work on. I think every relationship does, you know what I'm saying? So when they get outside, it's for them to figure it out. But in the villa, I feel like they are a genuine couple together.
There's Olivia and Corey, and it's kind of nice to see a friendship form into something. Do you both think that their relationship is strong and that they'll survive outside the villa as well? Or do you really think it's just kind of an insular island kind of romance?
For me, I think I was kind of skeptical at first, not gonna lie. I was just like, yeah, I was. Honestly, I was just like, they've been in together the whole time, you know what I'm saying, since day one, and they just figuring it out. But at the same time, everybody's story is relative, you know what I mean, to them. And for some people, like, I feel like she was explaining to me yesterday, I think, that she was like, Olivia figured out she wanted this type of guy, and Andre would be more fitting of that mold that she's talking about. And then it's funny how as soon as you think you want something and you get it, that you don't really, that's not what you really want. That's not what you really need. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of what happened with her. And then she kind of looked back and analyzed Corey again and was like, yo, like maybe that's actually what I really need. You know what I mean? So for everybody's relative, you know what I mean? It takes time to figure out what you really want, what you really need. And maybe it just took her more time, but from both of them. So actually I'm starting to think like, yeah, it might actually be something.
I had to tell this man stuff that he doesn't know. I'm like, you weren't in the villa, baby.
Well, Cash, you were really close with Olivia. Were you surprised at her attraction to Corey, or you had kind of always seen something?
Yeah, I feel like there was something always there with them. I'm biased. Like they're my two best friends and they're in a couple. So I'm like, work, get married, do it. I'm obsessed with them. I think it was just one of those things where they kept like missing each other. I'm like, that's like the best romance movie I've ever seen. I'm like, you guys are gonna make it work. And I don't know, I'm rooting for them and I hope they can make it work on the outside with all the pressure from me.
See, now this is karmic retribution here. And in a recent game that the Islanders played, it was sort of revealed that America thinks that Olivia is playing a little bit of an acting role. Like she really doesn't like Corey that much and just kind of wants to stay on the island. What are your thoughts on this? Is America completely wrong?
I'm gonna have to let her speak on that. I think she got more of the view than I did.
I think that's crazy. When you're in the villa, you can't like fake something for that long. Like you're recorded literally constantly 24/7. Like there's no way. Like I told everyone if Charlie would have picked me that night, I still would have went home because I'm not going to force anything. America's not going to catch me forcing it. I'm like, no, I'm getting out of here. And I feel like it's literally that way. You cannot force something. Like America can see if a kiss isn't genuine. Like, especially me, I'm like literally like tuned in watching, you know, I don't think, you know, they're faking it. That's crazy.
Well, before I let you two go, I have to ask, because Jeremy was called the Grim Reaper the other day because every woman that he gets with always seems to get out of the island. What do you think is going to happen with Jeremy? Is he going to find love in the villa or what?
I say this all the time. Jeremy is a bro's bro, and he will bro out before talking to the girl that he has a connection with.
Yeah.
I don't know how that man is still in the villa. I said it to him. The first night he was saved by America, I was like, I wanted you to go home, and I wanted Giovanni or Wes to stay. I was like, go home. And I love Jeremy, but I'm like, boy, no. And he's amazing. I feel like America like hasn't really gotten to see like his personality. Him and Cinco are very, very close. But yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how that man is still in the villa.
Jeremy's my guy, so seeing the Jeremy slander sometimes I'm just like, y'all really just don't know. I wish y'all could just hang out with him because he's just super dope for real. But otherwise, like talking to women, like I don't know. I've seen like a clip where he was talking to somebody. I think he's talking to Bailey. I was like, oh, he's kind of awkward. So I was like, I don't know. Like I can see both sides of it, but honestly, like I hope he finds something, but he just needs a like a retuning of himself, like to actually like put himself out there and not be awkward and open up a little more and not be as like with the bros as he is, which is fun for me. You know what I'm saying? We always hanging out, chilling, but at the same time, you gotta balance with it. You know what I mean? So
Tarzan needs a little more swagger, a little more game. That's just my opinion on the whole thing. That's just my opinion. But Cache, Cinco, I love you both so much. I'm glad you've reunited, and I can't wait to be invited to your wedding. And I'll just leave it at there.
Man.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.